What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So, your man's Deontay Wilder has spoken out about Tyson, scary, and his future plans for the trilogy. Essentially alleging he believes Tyson Scary, Lieson Fury, Lieson Scary will cheat again. He said the following. Oh man, you think he ain't gonna try to treat again this time in the trilogy? Oh man, you know they're thinking it. They're coming up with a master plan. But my thing to him, man, you couldn't even get me out of there with loaded gloves on in the second fight. And the conditions I was under when you spiked my drink and my suit was heavy. There ain't no way you gonna keep a brother down. You could knock me out then, and you did knock me out then. So there you go. I played you man the audio clip. Yeah, you heard the audio there from Wilder. And, well, what can I say? Listen, 3 weeks ago, I'd have come on there, and I'd have probably made a video impersonating Wilder's voice. But these days, you might know my opinion. I'm over that now. I'm not going to do no more impersonations of Wilder's voice. I'm just going to play you man the audio. Why? Tyson Fury's broken the trust. Yeah? No longer can I come on here and do the funny voice and whatever else. What for? How? How can I do that? How can I possibly do that when your man's Tyson Scary? In fact, what's it now? Yeah, Sunday. Wow! Guess what? You man should now, be watching or have watched the YB's live reaction video. Yeah? That's what should have happened, by the way. Right now, all of us, man, should be enjoying and or have enjoyed the YB's reaction video to Tyson Scary, to Lieson Scary versus Deontay Wilder 3. It's the 25th, 7 a.m., which is literally an hour or two after the fight would have concluded. Now look at us. Instead, the YB's making a video and Deontay Wilder talking about the damn trilogy again. And this is exactly what I didn't want to be doing. What did I tell you, man? You goofies never listen, never learn. I said to you, man, the only good thing about this fight was that at least we're getting it now. At least you know what I'm saying? At least it's jam-packed in summer. Oops. October. Don't listen. Don't no one want to wait till October to watch that fight. No one does. If you thought you had problems selling the tickets in July, you got nothing coming. You're going to be super sick. It's no wonder you're dropping the prices, because I told you, man. I tried to help you. I said to you man, best believe, the only reason anyone wants to watch this fight is because we're getting it soon. People don't want to sit and wait for this fight. This ain't a sit and wait kind of fight. Fair enough. Undisputed. Will people sit and wait? Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Will people sit and wait? Yeah, that's how unknowns go. When people have seen something 2 times already, and no one looking for a third time. Instead, you played around. Lieson Fury. I'm not sure if Wilder's in on it, but either way, Lieson, you lying. Yeah? Because even if Wilder is in on it, why did you agree to it, Lieson? You should have said, no, I'm not going to bum my own name off. We're going to do something together. We're both going to drop out or something, I don't know. But the fact that Lieson led with it, that tells me it was more to do with Lieson than it was Wilder. The fact that Lieson Fury made Wilder take him to court tells me it's Lieson Fury doing what Lieson Fury does. Yeah? Listen, Lieson. In fact, no, what? Back to Wilder. I want to get on these topics. I want to get on some of these things he said. So he starts off by saying, oh man, you think he ain't gonna try to cheat again this time? Now, again, I've played the audio just a second ago. I'm not gonna kind of repeat what he said. You've heard it there, out of the horse's mouth. He believes Tyson Fury, he believes Lieson Scary is going to cheat again in October. Now, what do I think of this? Truthfully, 3 weeks ago, I'd have sat there and told you, well, I don't know, I'd have played devil's advocate. Truthfully, I've seen the gloves. I've got another video coming soon exclusively. The gloves do look a bit goofy. Or not, don't, in fact, tell a lie. They don't look a bit goofy, they're goofy. I haven't seen nothing like it. Now, we know Tyson's scary. We know Lyson's scary, loves to slap. But even so, the gloves look goofy. I don't care what no one says. I've never seen no gloves like that before. Whatever way you want to cut it, I'm not a shill. I don't shill for no one. That includes Tyson Fury, and that includes Deontay Wilder. I don't need to shill. I'm not paid. My name ain't Tyrone, MTK Tyrone. Yeah? I don't get paid by a man to come around my house on a Friday night and ride the hind legs off me. That's not what I do. Each to their own. Obviously, Tyrone Booth, he enjoys that. Like I said, it's 2021. If that's your thing, if that's your little kinky thing, that's good for you. I'm happy for you. Yeah? The YB, that's a no. That is a no from the YB. No shilling here. And for me to come on here and tell you that the gloves didn't look right, that would be the kind of thing Tyrone Booth would say. The YB, no. The gloves don't look right. Unless you're blind, or unless you're paid, the gloves don't look right. Stop lying to yourselves, people. What's wrong with you? And I've always said that. The gloves look funky. However, my beef's always been that if the gloves were funky, where was your team at? Where was your team at, Wilder? Where was the investigation? Where was the lawsuit? Where was the... You know what I'm saying? Where was it? Nowhere to be found. If you believe you got proof, and you believe you got millions of dollars, where's the lawsuit? Where's the... You know what I'm saying? Where's the follow-through is my issue. There wasn't none. And that leads me into my reaction today. Deontay Wilder saying he believes Fury's going to cheat again. Number one, make sure your team are on their job. It's no good sacking Mark Breland, because guess what? Your other man's, that other Don, what's his name? That other Muppet, I forgot his name, but Mark Breland wasn't the one meant to check the gloves. Oops. Oh, man, I'm Black Power, and, you sacked the wrong one. The man who checked the gloves, you kept. And the other man, who was looking after you when you was getting your head lecked off, because think about it, think about the chain of events here. Arguably, Mark Breland had to step in as a result of Jay Diaz's failure. Innit? Because if what you allege is true, that the gloves were rigged, Mark Breland only stopped the fight because Jay Diaz didn't do his job properly. Life is a link. Life is... Or time, the passage of time flows in one direction. Yeah? The fact Mark Breland saw blood dribbling out of your ear because Tyson Fury put someone in his gloves, whose fault's that? Low IQ people, dopey dons like yourself, Wilder, would look at it and say, oh man, well, Mark Breland, he stopped the fight, and people who understand cause and effect, people who understand the passage of time, would understand that Mark Breland was in that situation because dopey Jay Diaz potentially put in there. But you're too slow for that. Your whole team's too goofy for that. The LDBC are too low IQ to understand that. All they see is the result. They don't understand how events play out. They don't know how to analyse events. All they see is the reaction. Yeah? So, either way, you might know my opinion now. I'm rooting for Wilder on the basis that Fury's just pissed me off, pulling out too much, playing too many games. Listen, you might know my opinion. I didn't like the lawsuit. I thought, get in there. We should have had this fight this time last year. That's what should have happened. We didn't get it. I let him off. We should have had this fight July 24th. Not let him off. No more let-offs. You've had it all. Not interested no more. I'm not interested in nothing. Bottom line. So on that basis, I'm backing for Wilder, and therefore I'm going to give Wilder some tips. The tips are, make sure your team is on point. It's no good coming on YouTube and talking about, oh man, I think he going to cheat again, and because if you thought that, I'm not being funny, there was some evidence as well after the first fight, because some of these goofy LDBC channels have showed gloves looking funky in the first fight. So what was your team doing in the first fight or after the first fight? Oops, because you felt you won the first fight, you weren't bothered. So essentially, you set yourself up to get suckered in the second fight. Again, whose fault's that? Yours. Start taking some responsibility, Beyonce. I know you're not used to it because you grew up around a whole bunch of women's. You're just used to whining, essentially. Oh man, he hit me in my head and he dented my head and he bust my eardrum. He bust me and Mallet Scott's eardrum for us. Wow. Start taking some responsibility. And that means, before the fight, make sure your team's on point. Don't send Jay Diaz in there, because he's dopey. Clearly he is. Because if you believe there's something wrong with the gloves, Jay Diaz needs to be on that. That's it. Because let me tell you something right now. Me personally, I ain't going to hear no excuses after the next fight. Even if Fury's gloves do look dodgy, I ain't going to hear no excuses, because we're all aware of it now. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about, no, he was doing this, he was doing that, because you know full well now what you're dealing with. So if Fury gets off all over you again, if you end up with Fury just unloading all over you again, that's on you. All the way on you. Seriously, I mean it. If Fury's able to get off all over your face again, that's on you. And in a way, I hope Fury does. In as much as if Fury can get away with it, fair play to him. Genuinely. If Fury gets away with it again, all more power to him, because that's on Wilder at this point. If your team's too dopey and too whatever, too LDBC-ish, if you employ a special needs team, that's on you. You can't blame Fury for having a little bit more IQ than your team, the whole of your team, because that's unfortunately that's how it played out. It played out that Fury, who was about 80 IQ, ends up having more than your whole collective team. Your whole collective team was about 30 IQ. That's why he got off all over you for 2 fights, essentially. That just sums up how thick your team is, bottom line. And I'm not being funny. The reason I'm spelling it out to you, man, is because I'm not sure you've got enough IQ now. I think you're going to do the same again. No joke. I won't be surprised to see Fury's gloves flapping again. Because Wilder's his team was too thick. I'm sorry. It's the truth. They were, yeah? That's what I believe. Mallet's got too much talking. Not enough thinking. Think about it. People who talk too much, they ain't got no time to think. But I'm spelling it out so that we're all clear now. Because if and when Scary does cheat, as you've said, there won't be no excuses. Because it's impossible. You can't. If you're predicting it, you should be on it. It's no good getting your head lecked off and the gloves are bouncing all over the place and you saying, oh man, he did, but YB, he dented my head, and it don't work like that. You need to be on it. Tell your team to fix up. Tell Jay Diaz to fix up. And if I was you, I'd bring someone else in there as well, not just Jay, because the funny thing is, you talk about Mark Breland being the mole, but more likely it was Jay Diaz, truth be known. It's so funny. You talk about, oh man, I'm Black Power, and but if I think about it, if there was ever going to be a mole, and you talk about all the devils and whatnot, but and think about it for a second. Who was the man responsible for looking after the gloves? Oops. Who was the devil on your team? Oops. Yeah, they're your words. So if anything, I think Jay Diaz is laughing all the way to the bank with Team Fury, who got off all over you. Because Jay Diaz was there in the glove room. Oops. And you sacked Mark Breland, who reacted to Jay Diaz's shoddy work. That really is Wilder's team all over. And that's what I told you, man. I'd love to see Fury get off all over Wilder again. I'd love to see it, just for banter's sake. Because for all we know, Jay Diaz really is the mole. Because the gloves got through, didn't they? So, what's to say that Wilder dopey ass sends Jay Diaz in here again? And Fury, that's what I mean. This for me, in fact, tell a lie. That's what I'm interested about this fight now. I'm interested to see can Tyson Fury get off all over Wilder again? Because that'll be a classic. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Fury's gloves bobbling all over the place and Wilder's head just getting lecked off. That would be my favourite. Obviously, the integrity of the sport will be bad, but equally, Wilder's team deserve it for being sloppy. People can only get off all over you if you allow them to. Simple as that. Now, he says they're thinking and they're coming up with a new master plan. But my thing to him is, you couldn't even get me out of there with loaded gloves. Yeah, well, listen, Wilder, you was out of there. How about that? You were, what planet you on? I know you like to believe that Mark Brilliant pulled you out, but you was out of there. You weren't fighting back. What's wrong with you? You weren't fighting back, and he was teeing off all over you. At one point, you was grabbing the back of his ankles. Literally. He was grabbing the back of his ankles. Wow, it was bad. It was a bad look for you. Yeah? He was bagging the back. I've never seen a man grab the back of another man's legs like that. I've only seen that in certain films and whatnot. You was grabbing the back of his leg. That's mad. He was gripping the back of his legs up, trying to get that extra momentum. Yeah? That's what you want. I've seen the pictures. No doubt. So, you was out of there. You can lie to yourself and whatever else. It's the truth. You're lying to yourself. What you need to focus on is being on your job and having your team be on their job. Your job is to be the fighting. Talking about magic and he can do this, he can do that. Just concentrate, man. What's wrong with you? You've got until October. Get your team on their job. Make sure they're focused, and you be focused on what you need to do. Because you can't afford to be thinking about all these possibilities and all the magic inside the ring. Why? Your brain isn't powerful enough to do both. Some people could think about a few different things. You can't. You can't afford to do that. Because the minute you start thinking about someone else, he's going to catch you. And we know your legs and your chin, your pointy Eritrean chin, you can't take that kind of volatility. The minute someone brushes the end of your pointy chin, that's it, you're gone. You can't afford that. So you can't afford to stop thinking for a split second. It's a bit like Ortiz. He can't afford that either. He stood there smiling. Now, equally, you probably paid him to jump on the floor, but either way, he stood there smiling, got caught, and that was the end of that. He ended up in the gynecological position. Yeah? He ended up ready for the YB to test him, gynecologically. So his heels were right in, and his legs was wide open, just ready for the testing. Yeah? The YB was going to test the moisture of his muff. That's what I was going to test. If you don't believe me, go and look at the pictures. Yeah? I booked Luis Ortiz in for a quick gynecological test session. He was looking, and you can see, if you look carefully, you can see Luis Ortiz looking down at me as I'm just about to test. His head was looking right down, 100%. You can see the picture yourself. Yeah? Deontay Wilder sent you straight into the YB's office for a gynecological test. Yeah? Deontay Wilder hit in such a way. Deontay Wilder hit Luis Ortiz in such a way that he sent him into the gynecological position. That's the truth of it. Sent him straight into the YB's office, ready for the test, all prepared. Yeah. What's that word? Yeah. Luis Ortiz was knocked into a ready pack. Yeah. You was a gynecological test ready pack. That's how he knocked you. All legs folded open and shit. 100%. But anyway, let's see what happens. Is Tyson Fury a cheater? I think he probably is. Truth be known. Especially when it's all coming full circle. All the lies he tells, all the sparring stories he got exposed for, taking padding out the gloves, all that kind of, it's all coming around circle now. He is, and it's not been funny, we've heard rumours in the past about bare knuckle champions, and people have told me that they're grimy individuals, that they love to just get over on people and whatnot. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say all people from all groups are the same, but from Tyson Scary's actions, promising to give money to charity and then moaning about having privacy, it comes across to me like he really is a scammer. He really does love a good scam. It's a bit like John Fury. John Fury for months has talked about how C19's BS, and his son comes out with it, and all of a sudden he's really worried and he's taking it really serious. This shows they got no shame. They all do anything to get over on people.